Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your Wednesday Wisdom with Spirit. I'm Jeanette Byro. I'm a medium and a channeler. And on Wednesdays, I tune into Spirit through mediumship, through channeling. I just open up the door to Spirit and see what's there. So I'm going to tune in. I have a suspicion of what they're going to talk about because they've been kind of yappy with me. Yappy, I mean that in a very nice way, for a while this morning. So I'm just going to tune in. But I have a sneaking suspicion. Hold on one second. Okay, yeah. So what they were talking about this morning, for me, with all of you is what I mean. They were talking about quieting the mind. And they said, so many of you right now, your mind is running so fast. Thoughts are coming in so fast. And they said, truly, that's not your fault. And so they're not bringing this through in a way of like, don't do this, it's bad, or you're not doing good enough. They're saying, with the speed at which everything is changing, with the intensity of the astrological alignments and shifts, we're approaching a new moon as well. With all of that, there's a lot of energy moving through. It's fast, and we knew it would be a fast-paced fall anyway. With this fast energy that allows, facilitates, or invites very fast-paced thoughts. Lots and lots of thoughts running through the mind. But they said what's really needed in that is actually to ground and to silence the mind. Now, silencing the mind is sometimes easier said than done, but the invitation is to silence the mind, to allow the energy to harmonize again, to allow your energy to sync up and harmonize. That's so valuable right now. Because there's more clarity coming, but if our mind is too busy, we're not gonna be able to see it or hear it or understand it. Now, the other thing they were showing me as I had my eyes closed was kind of putting a cloak around yourself. And they showed it to me as like spirit coming around and putting a cloak around you, almost like I've got my super cozy hood on, but like, you know, putting a cloak around like a hood like this, right? And kind of like being in this safe sanctuary where nothing else around you is really distracting you. And maybe what you do is you put on a sweater that is kind of like a cloak like that. I know sometimes if I'm really wanting to retreat inwards, I'll put on this sweater and I'll pull the hood up so that I can just kind of sink right in. And I guess it does help silence the mind. And so Spirit is saying they are bringing their energy forward for you today to help do that, like a cloak of energy around you. And they're also suggesting you find a way to do that if you find your mind is spinning or just very fast paced. Now, that can happen in good ways and not so good ways. So we all know our mind can spin in negative ways and we go down this deep, dark rabbit hole of negativity, fear, all of that. However, our mind can also spin with good ideas, and that's a good thing. But if your mind is spinning with good ideas or good thoughts, get them out. Get them out on paper or something so that they don't keep that whirly spin happening in the mind. Get them out somewhere, and then if you can, go back in and silence the mind. There's a big recalibration energy today, and I find that actually really neat considering we're heading into the new moon energy. So it makes a lot of sense to be recalibrating right now. I'm going to see what else there is. Hold on. Okay, they're also showing me we're at a very interesting completion point into a next phase. And the way they're showing this is they're showing me two things. They're showing me the World card, which is usually a woman standing inside a wreath, and the wreath represents this completion and this bigger cycle of completion. And we could look at that and think, okay, maybe that is Pluto moving on November 19th fully into Aquarius from Capricorn. It's completing its time in Capricorn. It could be that, because the World card usually represents like external forces. However, they're also showing me the Ouroboros. I'm not sure if you're all familiar with the Ouroboros, but it's basically a serpent that moves back and is eating its own tail. And there are many explanations and definitions of what the Ouroboros means, but what they're showing me right now, specific to this, is that we've reached a completion point in which things are coming back around on itself. So maybe like another spiral in the ascension staircase. And this is why they really want the silencing of the mind, because it'll allow us to see where we are on that spiral staircase. And instead of feeling like we're spinning in circles, we're actually going to see we're spinning upward in this ascension process. So there's something so valuable in that. But again, the mind needs to slow down in order to be able to perceive all of that. So grounding is really important right now. That's a really valuable thing. Also coming back to play, like they had in the cards in the beginning, right? Play was really valuable in the beginning of this week as well. And they're also saying to look to the stars. Okay, interesting. I have not looked up. I don't know what there are for comets or shooting stars happening right now. But there's a lot of activity there too. I'm not seeing it like ET activity specifically in this message, but more just like shift in movement happening in the skies as well. That makes me think there's either like a comet or lots of shooting stars happening, like that kind of energy. They're saying it echoes the energy of what's happening within all of us, as above, so below. Okay, and they're also saying you need not worry. For many of you are carrying so much worry, when yet the opposite is true. And then I asked them, I'm like, well, what do you mean by that? And they said, everybody needs to ponder that for themselves. That's for each individual person listening to ponder that statement. So maybe you rewind and listen to it one more time to ponder that statement and what it means for you, because it's like the worries that you carry, are you carrying them? Are they valuable to you? Are they worth being carried? Do they actually need to be carried? Because maybe they actually don't. So there's some sort of review piece on that. Again, it's connecting to the spiral staircase, which brings their whole message together about quieting the mind. So however you can today, ground your energy, be cozy and comfortable in whatever that looks like for you. To help you ground, you may want to consider carrying certain stones with you that are very earthy, or say certain malas, any kind of wood, jewelry, mala beads that are wood, like anything that kind of like pulls you into the ground, that would help ground you right now. Also spending time in nature, connecting to trees, sitting in your garden, anything like that will help balance the energy, as nature is this huge, recalibration tool for each and every one of us. So I will leave that with all of you for today. Thank you as always for joining me. I hope you enjoy. Please share, subscribe, hit that like button, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good one.